Okay, this video is going to show you how to change your DNS setting and how to be able to turn off your uh, automatic renewal. If you don't turn off your automatic renewal, it's going to charge your credit card a year from now when you forget all about this class and you don't want to spend the extra $15, $20 they're going to charge you for the second year of your $1 domain name. So I've logged in to my account here and I'm going to go down and go to my products and services. These are my domains. You have one, but I have many. So I'm going to go down to, which one do I want to do? I can't remember now. Here we go. I think this is the one I just bought. So I'm going to click on DNS. That stands for domain name server, and we want to change those settings. And then it's going to pop up, and it's going to show you all this stuff here for whatever reason, and you ignore it. Then here it shows that the name servers we're using are this, and these are the ones that are used by GoDaddy. So if you wanted to, you could have set up a page and then you just use that one. They usually call it a park page. Okay, and here's the other stuff. So what we want to do is we want to change the default. We don't want those. Okay. And here we come down to here and it says connect to my domain to a website I built. So that would be an easy way, I guess, to be able to do that, because what it'll do is it'll take a look at, so if I already had a website up on a server somewhere, I can go to that one. The GoDaddy would be able to see what the domain name server names are and automatically change your account. We don't have that yet. So what we need to do is we need to enter our own name servers. So we're going to click on this one. The domain name server for free hosting is the same for every account. It is DNS1.freehostia.com and DNS2.freehostia.com. Okay, then once I've placed these two into these boxes, I need to hit the save button in order to save it so they'll change it. And then it's going to come back and let me know. Well, very quickly it said. Okay, so features may not be available. It takes sometimes up to 72 hours, 3 days for this to go. They have to change every DNS server on Earth. Eventually it gets fixed to FreeHostia, but it does take time. And then when you log back in, they're going to show you this. We can't display your DNS information because they're not managed by us. And of course, these will eventually change to DNS1. So don't worry about it. This is actually done perfectly. Next thing I want to do is change the automatic renewal. And I do that by going back up to where my name is up here in the top right-hand corner and go down to renewals and billing. You would think it would be over here, but it's not. They try to hide this stuff out here, I think. And I'm going to click on renewals and billing. Because they manage this. So free website builder automatically cancels. You can see I've already have all these other ones. Some of these I don't, and I use those to once again make videos because they change these things continuously. Every time I log in, it seems like they've changed. So here's the one I just did, and this auto renews. So what I want to do is I want to click the check mark next to the tombrady.club. Right now, auto renewal's on. And what I want to do is I want to cancel renewal, which makes people nervous, like I'm going to cancel my domain, but you're not. You're just going to cancel the auto renew. When I click on that, it says, sorry, it didn't work out for you. It's still, they're making it sound as if they're going to cancel my domain, but that's not true. I just want to cancel the renewal of it. So if you click on this, the next thing they should do is ask you why you're leaving. Let's see. Are you turning on because you plan to cancel this product becomes? Yes. That's new. I've never seen that one before. And then they come up with this. Tell us the premium while you're canceling. Um, Yada, yada, yada. You don't want to say anything bad. I'd say price is too high. Thank you for your saying. So I put in there price is too high because actually GoDaddy is fairly expensive. It's $1 for the first year, but every year after that, it's more expensive than other places. So we always use GoDaddy for two reasons. And I can close this. And the reason is, one is they have very good customer support. So if you're having a problem, they usually solve your problem. And I like that. Plus, they are the major domain name registrar. So you're always good to go with the major player. They're not going to go bankrupt halfway through your year of having it. But there are some other good ones. We used to use one called Ionos, and it used to be 1-in-1 actually, and then they changed it to Ionos. But they made it almost impossible to turn off that automatic renewal. Every time you tried, it just spun and spun and spun, but it never stopped. So we no longer use it, but we could have used it. Let me see if I can find it. wionos.com, I think. Hopefully this doesn't go to a pornographic site. You never know when you're guessing. Here it is, 1-in-1. And then we would go to domains, domain names, and they usually have some pretty good deals. So .com is $1 and then 15. They show you what's going to cost the subsequent years, which is unusual. Most of the time they trick you. They don't trick you, but they don't tell you. So look at this one. .site, 80 cents for the first year, which is great. But then $40 for the second year? That's insane. That's way too much money. So when you're talking to your client, and you can see here it shows they do a very good job, very transparent. I really liked 1-in-1. I hated to get rid of them. But if the students are having a hard time turning off the automatic renewal, then every student is going to get a bill a year later for a domain name they don't want. So if you wanted to try out Ionos, that's fine with me. Another one I've used is Namecheap. There we go. And one of the reasons I used it was because the cheap names were cheap. So there you go. So you can't beat $1 or 80 cents on Ionos. I mean, you can't beat that for 1 year. Let's see, by domain name. So they don't tell you how much it's going to cost. So I'm going to do Tom Brady 666 and see what they got. So it's always good. You can always, Namecheap is pretty big. They're not going out of business either. And they were fairly easy to use. They didn't have as many $1 specials, and that's why I don't use them in this class. So you can see XYZ, that's $1. And you can go through here and see cheap, but you can see, and it's only $10.88 after that. So it's pretty inexpensive. And what you want to do is, here's another one, .link, 88 afterwards. When you're talking to your client, you want your client to purchase their domain name because it's their business property, not yours. And then you'll help them with it, and you will help change the DNS settings for them. But they should be buying like 10 years worth of domain name. If you get a lot of years, it's cheaper per year doing it that way. And I assume they're going to want to keep that domain name for many, many years. So it's important that they go ahead and purchase that. As a developer, the only domain name you should purchase is your own, so that you can create your own projects with your own name. I have a problem because Tom Brady's being used by some other guy, but you might be able to just get your name. And again, the same thing. You want to be careful. So this is $8.88. It looks like it's $8.88 a year, and it might be for many years. Let's just add to the cart and see what happens. You're thinking, well, 8's a lot more expensive than, let's view the cart. That's pretty cheap per year. So let's go ahead and see what happens if I do it for 10 years. 10 years is going to be, yeah. So if I had a client, I would say, hey, go on to cheapname.com. Nobody knows you bought it from them. But for per year, this is very, very inexpensive. $888 for a year for 10 years. Another one that I've used is Porkbun, www.porkbun.com. And the reason why I've done that is the same thing. I like their name, and their domains tend to be inexpensive. So I'll do Tom Brady 1, 2, 3, 4 and search. One of the reasons why I don't use the same 1666 is that sometimes when you do it, especially when you're using GoDaddy, they lock that domain. If you try searching somewhere else for the same one, it says it's always being used already. 3 per customer, first year sale, renewals at $856. So this is fairly inexpensive too. And if you didn't want to have a .com, which most clients do, here it shows all the renewal rates, and these renewal rates are much less expensive than GoDaddy. So GoDaddy is the most most popular, so they get to charge whatever they want. But here, look at this. So if you had Phil's Automotive .company, it would be $648. So for 10 years, it'd be $64.80, which is really cheap for that domain name. The problem is getting people to type in that. There's so many domains now that they should be super cheap, and they may be getting. Look at another one here, $98 to get in. 98 cents to get in, but then $27 for the next year. That's insane. That's just way too much money. So that's it about domain names. You know how to change the DNS settings. Changing the DNS settings in these other main Namecheap and one-on-one are very similar. They have a DNS button. You put it to DNS1.freehostia and DNS2.freehostia, and it works the same way. So, all right, that's it.